Welcome, everyone, to Transform Your Relationships Live. I'm Laura Rubinstein with the amazing and fabulous Dr. Rhoberta Shaler. Hi, Rhoberta.
Hello, amazing and fabulous Laura Rubinstein. And we always start this way with this great affirmation of one another, and I hope everybody out there is affirming yourself and one another too.
Yeah, and in fact, we're going to talk about love, focusing on love versus fear, because I think we're in a time, this is really heightened awareness of what's going to happen. There's this
Mhm.
uncertainty, there's the unknown, um, there's people getting sick. So there's certainly an opportunity to dive into fear, but there's also another opportunity here to dive into love. And how do we do that?
Well, I think it is such an opportunity because it reminds us of the most basic choices that we can make in life that make us who we are. And if there's a lot of stuff going around on the internet about conspiracy theories and dragging people down and associating people with one another that have never been associated, and all of a sudden somebody's going back and rewriting history, and oh, look, I see all of this and it's connected, and it isn't connected and it never was connected, and don't go down that path. But the question comes back to one we've talked about so frequently: who are you?
Mm.
What do you think? What do you believe? What do you have as your reality? And I'm encouraging everybody, as you are today, is to make your reality love rather than fear.
And rather than hate, rather than blame, rather than shame, how do you do that? How do you come to love? How do you center yourself in love, right?
Well, yes, and that's a primary, fundamental, big shift. And that means that first of all, you have to think you deserve to take up space and draw breath on this planet. I mean, really think that you have the right to exist. And if you have the right to exist, why would that be? Why would that be? Why would it be that of all the millions of sperm, that one sperm made it into that one egg that made you? The likelihood of that is slim to none, and it happens all the time. And it makes you a unique human being, and it's not, in my opinion, by chance. So you embracing the fact that you are here with a sense of gratitude for this opportunity of a lifetime,
Mhm.
right? You have this opportunity. And if you have an opportunity, it's like cash. How are you going to spend it? What are
Mhm.
you going to pay attention to? Where is going to be your focus? Are you going to go down rabbit holes reading conspiracy theory on Facebook? Or are you going to say, no, I prefer to send love? And I don't mean this in a woo woo, impractical denial way at all. I mean, it is a conscious choice. Am I going to go into fear, or am I going to go into love and connectivity? Like, we are connected to one another. How can I deepen those connections? How can I reach out? I mean, you can't know how much peace it brought me that you were willing to go to the store and buy food for me because I can't go. I mean, I can go, but my risk is way higher. And you went. And there I was backing up to your garage and you putting it in my trunk and us having a wave with our masks on, and I'm fed, and you did that. That's connectivity.
It
That's
was.
saying we matter to each other. And if
Hallelujah.
we're not the author of that, then we're missing an opportunity. Every one of us can be the author of that. We can be the one who has the balance between giving and receiving, the one who thinks about other people, who's doing little things for their neighbors, who are brightening up days. I went for a walk yesterday, and I live in a community that the houses are not that tall and you can actually see into windows. So I decided that I was going to look into every window and see if there was someone to wave to. Right? And people were shocked. They're kind of like waving back. But who are you going to be in this? Don't be a result. You know, be the motivator, right? Be the one who sets something in motion rather than taking in. And where it comes from, this whole conspiracy stuff, be Teflon. Let it run off you. That's not your stuff. Don't let that be your stuff. Don't let you start thinking it ought to be your stuff either. You decide what's okay with you. Who are you going to be in this world? And how can you live without regret?
Mm.
And off the soapbox she comes.
No, I love it. I love that we are talking about being here now, being in the present moment, dealing with people in reality, not dealing with a hoax or a fabrication of sorts or somebody's creativity, shall we say.
Or
um,
someone wanting to have power over you by
yes,
scaring you. Right.
yes. And by making associations that are not real, by taking things that are real and associating them to things that shouldn't be, that just like sound good to some
Well,
people and sound scary to others.
yeah, and I saw something on Facebook. You got to be wise and aware here. There was a photograph of a guy in a lineup with grocery carts, and it was, a tag about, shopping and all of this and the fear. And the fellow saw it and took it to task because it was from 2016,
Right. A lot of the stuff is
right?
not what you think it is, right?
It wasn't him now in this pandemic. And they used the photograph without his knowledge,
Mm,
and it was erroneous. We have to wake up to that what we're seeing is not necessarily real at all. And there are a
right.
whole lot of people,
Well,
a
now people
whole
are
lot of people.
questioning what is real? Is the mainstream or the non-mainstream real? So now we're really in the confusion cycle. And that is the scary thing to me, actually. And that's why we have to come back to each other and know and trust, reality, which you can see and feel and touch. And, I'm glad you brought up that, I was willing to go to the store for you. And it was not even a question. It's like, you are someone who should not be in a store. I am someone who can go to a store and be at way less risk. Even if I get it, I'm at way less risk of really being damaged for life for this or losing a life. But it was just like, this is what we have to do is face what is like we know we can do for each other
Mhm.
and just do it. I mean, and be that loving presence for each other and hug each other and tell each other, things are okay. Look at where we are right now. We're okay. Our society is still functioning, in fact almost at a higher level in some cases. Our medical systems are coming to meeting to the task, right? We're not seeing it collapse. We're not seeing like, let's look and wake up to the real, what, not like what you're seeing on a screen. I don't care what screen it is, but what is, talk to the medical people, in your family and your friends, and talk to your friends about what is real, not what is being conjured and being put in front of you.
Yes, and also go to reliable sources. If you're going to go to the internet, go to reliable sources. Things come through my Facebook feed that people have passed on, and I always look to see underneath the picture before the article, where did it come from? And if it's not a credible source, I don't even open it.
Oh,
Be-
yes. So these things have been going on forever, right? Like, you get the warning or the idea about how to cure this thing or that thing. And then, um, it's anonymous. There's no person taking responsibility for it. There's no organization really behind it. There's no official anything, but people believe it. Like, I got something that you could use a hairdryer to cure the virus. I don't think so. Viruses don't live here. They live in your tissues. So you can't use a hairdryer up your nose to cure the virus.
Well, I think it's very heartening to see someone like Jerry Falwell, who is a con man of the highest order, be so clearly defined by immediately tried to sell something that was going to fix coronavirus. I mean, he immediately had a product. I mean, he's not a scientist. He's not anything. He just immediately saw a way to make money on people's fear, and he did it, and he was charged. Right. And that was a great moment for me when I saw them like immediately grab that and say, oh, no, you don't do that. You're not going to prey on people's insecurities. That is not okay.
Yeah.
And then we have this whole thing where we're being asked about our faith journey. Like, if you really have faith, you'll come and there'll be 2,000 people and we'll cough all over each other, but we'll be fine. And, you were gifted with common sense. You were gifted with the ability to figure things out. Have your faith and have it at home looking at a live stream. You're still together and you're not touching, right?
There's
Like,
part of you that believes it.
think
Yes.
things through.
Yeah.
Think things through. Don't be a sheep, because there are a whole lot of people out there who want to be your leader. And if you have not done your own work, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what your values are, if you don't know what your vision for your life is, if you don't know what you believe, don't put all of that in someone else's hands and then go trotting along after them and go, okay, all right, it must be like that because they said so. You have this opportunity. Remember that one out of a million sperm that fertilized that egg that made you a person who can think for yourself. And, if you just went sideways right there and you say, well, I think I'm going to follow that person, and you think now, you've solved that, have you investigated? Have you sat with it and said, does this ring true to me? What is this based on? Don't think that that's a nasty thing to do, that you should just accept everything on face value. No, you've got a brain for a reason.
If things aren't adding up, they're not adding up, and there's a reason. And, you know, people tell really great stories and they can make really great associations that sound like they're for your cause and for your passion. But really, there's an underlying agenda there that is so blatant if you take away the mask of what they're what they are trying to appeal to and look at what they really are appealing to. It's a whole nother story. Look at it in another layer. So it really requires some distancing, some objectivity, some real awareness of where this is coming from. Why would this be happening now? Some really key questions to ask when you see things that are circumspect, that are, kind of fantastical, that seem like a movie playing out. That's so exciting on one level because it's like pornography. It's like exciting, it's like getting your fears all riled up and for a healing, for a presence and speaking your language. Yet it really, is it really? Is it?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
could it be if it's got all these other sinister things around it? It's not. It just doesn't
Well,
add up.
it doesn't. But if you're in fear in your body, when you go into fear and you go into fight or flight, your body immediately washes you in chemicals, hormones, and it changes, and you get limited capacity. Your brain like focuses and cogitates on things. I've talked about it before. In 2003, I wrote a book called What You Pay Attention to Expands. Are you entertaining ideas that are hurting you to your core because you're paying attention to them? And the fear gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because that's what'll happen. You'll watch more and more television. You'll get into more and more scarcity. You'll be more and more afraid. And everybody will have power over you. But at any moment, you can take it back. You mentioned distancing and you used that word, and I thought, hey, we better connect that, because not only is there social and physical distancing, but from these concepts, let's have some mental distancing.
Yes.
Step way back and say, how does this fit in the grand scheme of things? I can see that they want my face in it and they want me to be all afraid, but what do I think is actually true here? And I was saying to someone the other day, the way that this is all being presented in the media reminds me of that old movie Blade Runner. that they're trying to come into that place where we're going to be scavengers taking from each other and overrunning people, and we're going to be making cars out of parts that we found lying around of things that were destroyed from
The
space.
apocalypse.
And don't go there. Don't go there. It's in your power not to go there. Should you be wise? Should you be recognizing what you need to do to keep yourself safe? Yes. Should you be taking steps to make yourself survive in a way that is possible? Yes. Between Laura and Amazon, thank you. I I can live. Um, People deliver things to my door. They put them in the trunk of my car. I can focus on that. These are ways that I can cope to keep myself safe. I can reach out to friends. I had dinner with a friend the other night. We both made dinner, brought it, sat and had it over Zoom.
Love
You
it.
know,
Lovely. Yeah.
we can do things, we can connect, we can talk about our fears with each other. We can say, what do you think? We can say, I heard this, what do you think? And we can have a reasonable conversation about it, not try and convince each other that each other is wrong, but to explore together. We can do these things if we reach out. We'll also find out who's our circle of friends. Are they like minded when it really comes down to it? Are they like valued? Do we value the same things? Would we do, like, I have a neighbor, she's 85. And I'm watching out my kitchen window all the time. Is she awake? What's she doing? Do I need to go out and she has a cane. She has so many parts of herself that's been replaced. She's had arthritis since she was 20 years old. So for her to even take the garbage can out to the curb is really difficult. You know, are we aware of what's happening with our neighbors? Look out! Look out! You know, go within, find out who you are, and look out and say, what does that look like in the way that I conduct my life? What does that look like in the way that I conduct my mental life? And that's where our power is. You
I,
choose what you think, you choose those things that you focus on, and you choose to express your values. Are you? This is a great time to be thinking about that.
yeah, and I love the idea of looking out for each other. Like this is the time to have each other's back, to really support in just ordinary, humane ways. Whether it's when you're walking in the street, you give each other distance out of that respect, out of that love, out of that caring. It used to be offensive to do something like that. Now it is loving, right? To
Mm-hmm.
say, I honor your space and your health, and we're going to honor each other by passing and waving and giving each other a big smile, and the reassuring smile that says, you know what, this, we got this, we're going to be okay. Everybody's going to do their part, and um, stay healthy. you know
Yeah, I
we're
was out.
oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
sorry. I was out for my walk yesterday, and there was a woman coming toward me, and she was all bundled up, and she had a mask, and she had a hat, and she was looking at the ground, and I said, "Hi." And she looked at me as though I had purposefully infected her.
Mhm.
Now, I was 10 feet away from her, and she kind of corrected, and she went, "Hello," and she walked on. Now, I thought about that, and I thought people generalize the fear. I had
Yes.
a client say to me the other day, "I am so tired of washing my hands." I said, "How often are you going out?" "Oh, I'm not going out." "Why are you washing your hands?" She said, "Well, they told us you're supposed to wash them every 20 minutes." That's the generalization. Like, do you think in your home that the ecosystem in your home has coronavirus in it when you haven't been out? And you have to wash your hands every 20 minutes. I had an infectious disease doctor on my show the other day, and we were talking about this, that this generalized fear comes, that we're afraid of everything rather than knowing what it is we need to do to allay any possibility of spreading the virus. That's what we're focused on, not the fear. What do I consciously need to do to keep myself and others safe. And don't get caught into this. I mean, that woman may have done that on any day that she wasn't wearing a mask. Maybe she doesn't like to talk to humans. I don't know. But it made me think about the fact that she may have a generalized fear, like she's just gone into the world as a totally unsafe place and everybody in it is out to get me. Maybe she's been watching too much TV. Maybe she's been on the internet too long. But let's not generalize this fear. We don't want coronavirus. We don't want our friends to get it. That doesn't mean we're afraid of other humans. And watch for the people who are perpetrating fear, injecting it into our society for their own gain. Watch for that. This is a time to be very clearly calibrating everything that's coming in your eyes and ears. Very careful. Do I believe that? Does that make sense? Does that align with my value system? Do I need to entertain that thought? Maybe I really don't. Maybe it's time to turn off the TV. I've been listening to a lot at night. I listen to music. It's called solfeggio music. It's a binaural kind of music. You put it on and it aligns your the frequencies, we're energy. So there are lots of different ones, if you want to improve your immune system, you want to sleep more deeply, things like that. These things work. We have a nervous system. We respond. Our nervous system is like the strings of a harp. We want to bring them into resonance. We can do that and it will make us feel better. It's free. It's on YouTube. Turn it on.
Say it again. What is the name?
Solfeggio.
Solfeggio.
Yeah, Solfeggio. It's a kind of music. And these things are available. It's not woo woo to understand that you're taking sound waves in all the time. That's why you get upset when somebody yells. What if you took in sound waves for a particular purpose while you're sleeping? Makes sense to me. Yeah,
Makes sense to me. Love
somebody else may think that I'm exposing myself to brainwashing because they've heard too many things. How can I trust those people are not putting subliminal messages in my head? I trust them.
that.
It works. I've been
Trust
doing
yourself,
it for a long, long
right?
time.
Mhm.
Right?
Trust yourself. Trust your soul. Feed your soul the positive energy of love, of breath. I love how you talk about breathing. And we do that a lot in hypnosis to calm the nervous system, to get a sense of self, to get connected to get really grounded in your your truth, not somebody else's truth, your truth.
But that requires spending time with yourself. And many people are afraid to do that because they're not sure who they're going to meet. Um, do spend time with yourself.
You
Do
might
ask.
like yourself.
Yeah,
That's
you very well may, right?
like you
That's
said, you're unique. You're like one in, what is it, 2 trillion chances of you even existing. It is a miracle you exist, and we
exactly.
honor that. We honor that you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to connect to other people. And we're on this planet. We're not on this planet alone. We're here together. We're in this together. What if we find our common ground and we look for our common humanity and what we all commonly want? I was thinking about that. We all want, safe places to live. We all want a shelter. We all want similar things. So we have more similarities, especially fundamental similar. We all want to be loved, experience
Mm-hmm.
love. So we have more similarities than differences. And if we stay focused on that and then we come to ourselves to really remember that, hmm, then what is our life like? Is there more peace? Is there more calm? Is there more truth? Is there more love being generated between people one on one? And can we combat anybody who's doing otherwise? Can we stop that insanity?
Yes, because that's where your power lies. Who are you? What do you believe? What do you value? What's your vision for your life? And are you demonstrating your values and your vision by what you do every day? Is there a match? Because when there isn't a match, you're going to have stress.
Right.
And that you're in charge of all that. You know, I just did a podcast today on Save Your Sanity podcast where I was talking about 4 immediate life-saving practices in the face of toxic people. Well, those 4 life-saving practices, you don't have to be in front of toxic people to do it. You can do that yourself, right? And it's important for us to recognize we have this, as I said earlier, opportunity of a lifetime. This is your opportunity. You're in it. What are you using it for?
You have the opportunity called your lifetime.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Whether we're in this time or not, there's always opportunity. And your message is timeless for connecting to yourself, to really using this, whether you're in living with someone like you call it a hijackal, or we're living in a pandemic, or we're living in normal times where there's just regular
Fear. A
fear
lot of
going
fear.
on, right? That we have to build the connection to ourselves more clearly, more distinctly, because that builds more love in the world. And we need more love out there. We need more people feeling connected to love and light, and just emanating from that place.
And it starts with looking within and saying, I'm not so bad. I actually kind of like me. And I have some value in the world, and I'm going to up the ante on doing what I believe is right and what expresses me in the best possible way.
Yes. So send love. Breathe it out, breathe it in, let go of anything that's not serving you. Like I do that a lot with my hypnosis clients. It's like breathe in the goodness and let go of anything that's no longer serving you. And your soul knows, your subconscious knows what's no longer serving you. You don't have to think about it. Where you do want to think about is where do you put your focus and attention on the things that are resonant, that are supporting you through this time, through your life in general, that helps this world be a better place. And so I am so grateful for all the people out there who've sent positive energy, who have shared their love with me, who have allowed me to share love with them, like with you. I got to go to the store, part of me was like, that's a gift to me back because I could actually serve in that way for you and feel like I have a purpose during this time that's really making a difference for other people, right?
Yes, and
So,
it did.
and I'm
I'm
saying it,
I'm living proof. I have food.
I have good food and organic food and the food you wanted, and some extras. So,
Yeah, I had daffodils too, which was a
and
total
daffodil.
delight.
Yes. So, you know, how can you delight someone today? Would be a nice way to end our time together. Thank you for this inspiring conversation, Roberta. Always a pleasure. Thank you for
Thank
being
you,
here. Thank you,
dear.
Tammy, and for your comments. And in fact, she was saying that this has been a great conversation. So we love
Oh,
having
good.
people here to help us celebrate the uniqueness that you are, the miracle that you exist, and the love that you emanate and share with the world. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks, but we're always here on Facebook at Transform Your Relationships Live. And then each of us are available for you on our respective websites, and transformtoday.com and transformingrelationship.com. Thanks.
Thank you.
And mwah.
Mwah, indeed. Oh, that was good.
And